Welcome to Flash Tutorial Request 12, Inflate a Balloon. I have a new FLA opened and I'm using ActionScript 3, and we're going to use ActionScript to inflate a balloon. I have 4 layers and I'm going to show you what's on each of these layers to save some time. I have a layer called Base where I have this rectangle, and if we look at it, I'll show you the dimensions of it. It's around 261 wide and about 13 high. Doesn't have to be very accurate. Then we have this cylinder called tube. It's 8 wide and about 43 high. We then have the thing I call handle. It's 29 pixels wide and 9 high. Again, you don't have to be too accurate on these. And the last thing I have made on my stage is something I'm calling a ball. That's going to be the balloon, and it's a circle 30 by 30. And the only thing that's important is that all these objects have a fill and a stroke. Let's start with this ball layer. Select this ball, up to modify, convert it to a symbol, make sure movie clip is selected, and call it ball, B-A-L-L _MC. And over here in the registration, make sure that this bottom center is selected, so that when we inflate the balloon, we want it to inflate from here and up and out, not from the center up and down. Copy this name. While it's highlighted, open the Properties panel and paste in this for an instance name. Now, make all these layers visible so we can see them. And we want to, first of all, deal with this ball. So let's make the stage a little bigger. And we're going to give it some shape like a balloon. And that's why I said we should have a stroke around the outside of it. So select that layer. Select your selection tool, double click to get inside of the ball movie clip. See what I did there? I was on scene 1. I have the ball frame 1 selected, double click on it, and now I'm inside the ball movie clip. There's the registration point. Now let's start to make this ball look more like a balloon. So we got to bring everything up. So if I click over here, bring that up, bring that up, and you're just going to do this until you get the shape of your balloon. I'm going to pull the sides in here a little bit. I'm going to play around with this and I'll come back when I get it the way I want it. This is what I'm going with. It's not the best looking balloon in the world, but it's a balloon nevertheless. While we are still inside this movie clip, I want to highlight it. Come over here and open up your colors panel. If you don't have this color panel here, look under window and you'll find color panel right down here. Click on it. Once it's open, come up here, select radial gradient, and yours will be whatever colors you were the last time you used it. But regardless, click here, and then select white. Click on this tab, double click until I get my palette, and I'm going to put red here. And now what I'm going to do is come up here, right here where it says Free Transform Tool. In that corner, select that corner, and Gradient Tool. Come down, highlight it, click on that balloon. And right here, grab this horn, so you got those crosshairs, and put it up here so it puts a glow on your, this arrow makes the glow smaller and changes the shape of it so you have the glow on your balloon. I'm relatively happy with that balloon. Lock that layer, and now this tube layer, unlock it. Select the first frame and we're going to do something similar with this tube. Highlight it, open that color panel again, gradient, this time linear, and that's the colors we had from the last time, but I want this to be black, so I'm double clicking here. I'm clicking on this tab here till I get the palette to open up, selecting black, close that, and now I have this nice cylinder here. If for some reason that didn't come in the way you want, you go back to here, pick up your gradient tool, highlight it, click on it, and there's your, you can move this to change your gradient. Make it big so you can see it, and then you can play around with this and get the gradient you want. And it sort of makes it look like a cylinder. Going to go back down and make it small again to 100%. Select on the frame, pick up my selection tool. I'm going to highlight this, right click, copy it. I'm going to then right click, paste in place. Using my arrow keys, moving it over here. Open my properties panel, and I'm going to make sure this is unlocked. See that link? And I'm going to make the height a little higher than what it is. Making my height there to about 50-ish. And I'm making my width about 6. And now I have another cylinder that is similar to this one, but much thinner. Locking that layer. I'm opening the handles layer, unlocking it, selecting it, frame 1. Making it big so I can see it, 200%. Pick up my selection tool, and I'm just going to go to the end here and make that rounded a bit. Make this one rounded a bit. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting that curvy thing on there, bringing this one down, bringing this one up, and that gives me the handle for what's going to be my pump. Highlight it using my arrow keys. I'm bringing it down till it's there. Now I'm going to make my stage small again. Not that small, 50%. Clicking off to the side so it's nothing selected. Now very carefully I'm going to select these two. Make sure nothing else is selected. Oh, I got to unlock this tube layer. Unlock the tube layer. So now I have 2 layers unlocked. Right click. See how I have them both selected? Right click, copy. Now, lock the tube layer. Select this first frame of this handles layer. Right click, paste in place. Using my, clicking on it, pulling it up. Now I'm going to unlock these 2 layers. Select this and delete it. I just did that because it's easier to work with. Now I have this handle. I'm going to come up here, modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected, and call this pump, P-U-M-P _MC. It's a movie clip called pump. Right click, copy that. Select the center for registration. Close that. Open the properties panel and paste in that instance name pump _MC. Now let's go back to this lock the handles layer. The only thing I have unlocked now is this tube layer. Select frame 1. Going to make my stage a little bigger so I can work with it. I'm going to highlight this, get my crosshairs, right click, copy, right click, paste in place, and using my arrow keys, sliding it over, getting it on there, dropping it down, and it's going to sit about there. While I'm at it, I'm going to highlight this one, drop it down, and you can see that that is slightly bigger than that. So lock that layer, unlock the handles layer, select frame 1, and using your arrow keys, put it in position. Now you see the handle should be inside. So select that handles up here to your timeline. Click on that handles layer and drag it so it's under the tube layer, and now that handle looks like it's inside there. So now when we pump, we're going to pump, pump, pump. That's what we're going to do. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select the ball layer. Select frame 1. Using your arrow keys, bring that ball down, which is our balloon, till it sits right there. That looks, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. Now, we have to put a little bit of red on top of this cylinder. So the easiest way to do that would be to pick up your rectangle tool and click and pick up just red. Oops, red for the fill, and make a little teeny rectangle. As long as it's going to cover over this. Now, I don't want to put that on with my ball layer because in case something happens, I don't want to start messing up with this. So let's highlight this, right click, let's cut it. Let's put this on its own layer. So select the tube layer, insert a layer, and call it stem, as in the stem of the balloon. S-T-E-M. Select frame 1, paste it in place, and you can play around with this. Highlight the whole thing, raising it and raising it and raising it. That's what I'm going with. That looks a little better. I'm going to put the stem layer on top. Make sure the only layer that's unlocked is the stem layer. Select frame 1. And I'm going to just click and remove, make it a little bigger. I'm going to remove this line. I'm going to delete this line. I'm going to delete this line, and I'm going to just take up my pencil tool. Make sure black is selected. And I'm going to just draw, actually, my straight line tool right here. And just draw a straight line here. And a straight line here. And that's a little better. Back to 100%. And pretty bad looking drawings, but now comes the part that you've asked for, I guess. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select the top layer. Insert a layer. Call this action script, AS. Select frame 1. Open the actions panel. And type in this code. Type. It's not very much code. It says pump underscore MC capital P. That's that pump we made the movie clip on. Period. Add event listener. Small a, capital E, capital L. That will turn blue if it's spelt right. Open bracket. Mouse event. Capital M, capital E. That turns blue. Period. That turns blue. C-L-I-C-K. That's all uppercase. Click is uppercase. Comma. And I'm calling this function, we're calling up Inflate, capital I-N-F-L-A-T-E, close bracket, semicolon. Here's the function. Function, F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N, turns purple. That's the name we gave it, Inflate, capital I. Open bracket, event, small e, turns blue, colon, mouse event, same mouse event, capital M, capital E, turns blue, close bracket, colon, void. Void turns the same color as function. Open bracket. This is an open curly bracket, and this is a closed curly bracket. And now we're going to start typing this, and this closed bracket will probably come up automatically for you. Ball underscore MC, that's the balloon, period, width, small w, that turns blue. Plus equals 2 semicolon. So this says every time we press this pump, the ball is going to increase in width by 2 pixels. So copy this, paste it again, change the word width to height. Make sure there's no capitals here in these words, width, height, and alpha. And this time, plus equals 3. Change it to a 3 because we want it to get bigger on the vertical versus the horizontal as we pump it up. Paste it in again, change the word width this time to alpha, ALPHA, which is its opacity. And we're going to make the alpha decrease because as the balloon gets bigger, it gets more transparent. So minus equals 0.01, semicolon, and finally that should be here if it isn't put in a closed curly bracket. Let's give this a quick test for a minute. No faults. When I hit the pump, 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 pump. Okay, increasing. Looks pretty good. And you can see it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter in color. We're going to have to fix this. So we're going to have to put this behind the balloon. Let's do that first. Let's go to scene 1 and let's click on this stem and bring it down like that. So therefore it's hidden behind. There's the pump. It's called handle. Let's unlock that layer. Let's select that frame 1. I want to see my pump. You can see it's highlighted. Pick up your selection tool, double click on it, and now we're inside the movie clip pump, but I can see where this stuff is. What I want to do is I want this pump to go up and down. So let's go up to about frame 10, right click, insert a keyframe. Using your arrow keys, tab down till the pump is almost to the bottom. You certainly don't want to see it sticking out the top, the one that's underneath. Right click in up in here in the timeline, make it a classic tween. So it's going to do that. Now, it looks funny because it's on the outside because we're inside the movie clip. But when we go back to scene 1, this will be all right. Click here, drag it across, click in here, right click, copy frames. Copy frames. Click here on the next frame, which in my case is 11. Right click, paste frames. Click off to the side. Click in one motion and drag all these. Click here, reverse frames. Way down here in my case, reverse frames. And we have this action. Pump, 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 pump down. Call this layer pump. P-U-M-P. Lock it. Insert a layer, call it action script, AS. Select that first frame, open the action panel, and put a stop in here. STOP, open close bracket, semicolon. Go back to scene 1. Open the actions panel. Select right here this line for alpha. Enter, go down one line, and type in this code. Type, 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 type. Pump underscore MC, capital P. That's that movie clip we just put the tweens in. Period. Go to and play, small g, small t, capital A, capital P. That will turn blue. Open bracket, 2, close bracket, semicolon. So every time we click on the pump, a few things are going to happen. We're going to make it get bigger vertically and horizontally. We're going to make it fade out a little bit with the alpha, and we're also going to make it go up and down. So let's test this out. No errors. Click on the pump. It drops, and you got to get right on that handle. See that? And every time I do it, it gets bigger. Now if you find the pump is moving too slow, open the library panel, open the movie clip for the pump, and right here in this section here, select 4 or 5 frames like that, right click, remove those frames. Do the same here. Select 4 or 5 frames in here, right click, remove those frames, and click and remove these frames. Now it's going to, the pump will respond faster. If you want I'm back on the main timeline. If you want the balloon to inflate faster, in the actions panel, the easiest way is to come here after each of these lines and make the number of increments bigger. And the easiest way to do that is to put an asterisk. That's the uppercase of the 8. And we'll make it 4 times faster. Asterisk 4. And the same here. Asterisk 4. Now it's going to happen faster. One last test. And see the pump moves faster and the balloon inflates quicker. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.